In light of recent events, I wanted to do a special edition of Living Her Story this week, honoring a woman who bravely served her country, a woman whose government couldn't wait to erase her from history. But here, her story always has a voice. Today, we are going to meet former Airman Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Malachowski, born September 1974 in California. Multiple family members previously serving in the armed forces, including her father, who was a Vietnam veteran. You might say Malachowski was born to do this. Homegirl was kind of obsessed, to be honest. With every club and JROTC you can think of, she joined. But this obsession started at the age of 5, when she went to her first air show and saw the Thunderbirds do their impressive show in the sky. Malachowski knew right then and there she was going to be a pilot. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known at 5, was that she would one day be the path paver for the Lady Thunderbirds. Much like women in construction and women in other male-clustered fields, women in the military do not want to be othered, with gendered titles, for example. We're there to work. We already stick out. Malachowski was no different. She talked about not wanting to stand out as the woman fighter pilot or the Lady Thunderbird. Frankly, she had dealt with enough targets after 11 years of active duty, including serving in Operation Iraqi Freedom, flying 26 combat missions, and Operation Noble Eagle. If anything, Malachowski should stand out for the numerous awards and commendations that she received for her acts of heroism, bravery, her service. But Malachowski understood something very important in her role as Lady Pilot: representation. Nicole Malachowski is an airman. That's the term. No change necessary. Because by simply being visible, by simply showing up, Malachowski is letting all young women know, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. And in 2005, at age 30, she did it. She became the first woman to join the Thunderbirds and had her first public flight that next year in 2006. Imagine how that must have felt from the age of 5, realizing that you want to be a Thunderbird, and then joining the armed forces, joining the Air Force, becoming an airman, and all of the difficulty that goes along with that as a woman in the military. But then at such a young age, 30, you achieve your childhood dream. Incredible. Malachowski's activism and work continues today, although it looks a little different, a little more down to earth, if you will. After contracting a tick-borne illness, Malachowski was forced into an early retirement after 21 years of dedication and trailblazing. She now spends much of her time speaking out about the dangers of Lyme disease and advocating for proper and affordable care for all. So aside from the fact that I talk about her story and different incredible, impactful women on a regular basis, what brought this impressive former airman across my desk today? In the wake of Trump Executive Order 14151, Malachowski's firsts could no longer be celebrated. Too woke, too inclusive, too equitable. Modern-day book burning. You'll remember back in January, I noted a number of documents that I personally use were disappearing from our government websites. Now, 3 months later, every .gov site has been altered. From words like pregnancy, gay, to entire human histories, and even factual links and resources, including information on Title IX and Title VII, highlighting key workplace and school anti-discrimination protections thanks to our civil rights leaders. Bringing us to today. A quote directly from Nicole Malachowski. "You're good enough to serve, but not good enough to be remembered. I can't believe that something like this is happening in the country whose uniform I wore. In response to the outrage and pain, An unnamed representative from the Trump administration has said, quote, "Our intent is to restore purely historical content after we review it to ensure it complies with the guidelines." Not the point. I was personally in attendance the year Nicole Malachowski was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. It was 2019. The class that she was inducted with included Sarah Deer, Jane Fonda, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Angela Davis, Louise Slaughter, to name a few. History books may try to erase us. History books may try to erase us, or not even include us in the first place. Web pages can be altered, making it seem like we were never there. But the legacy of HERstory is palpable, undeniable, unmistakable. Representation. Being able to see ourselves in the places and spaces where at one time we never thought possible. Mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, our aunts, they fought the fights. They paved the paths. They organized the marches. They did the protests, making it possible that we could be in the rooms, be on the job sites, yes, be in the cockpit. We know the work's not done. And we can feel it backsliding, right? Some of these things we've taken for granted. To the point our names are being stripped off of government websites. But the HERstory books won't forget us. Not when we're the ones telling the stories, forging the paths, being the first woman to raise our hand time and time again. Keep telling the stories. Keep advocating. Keep showing up, because representation matters. HERstory matters.